Hi, my name is Simona Bocancha, and I will be going over how can you determine fatigue values during a marathon. The terminology I have used is work, which is the product of magnitudes of components of forces along a direct or displacement and the displacement, energy expenditure, the sum of basal metabolic rate and thermic effort of food, and the energy expended in physical activity. Ground reaction forces, which is a force exerted by the ground on the body in contact with it. The component of ground reaction force parallel to the surface is the frictional force. Then speed. The speed of an object is the magnitude of rate of change of its position with time, or magnitude of change of its position per unit of time. Thus, this is a scalar quantity. Now, what is fatigue? Muscle fatigue is the decline in the ability of muscles to generate force. It can be a result of vigorous exercise, but abnormal fatigue may be caused by barriers to the interference with the different stages of muscle contraction. First study is to determine the effects of fatigue and generate on the kinematic and ground reaction forces parameters in recreational runners. 57 participants volunteered for this study, 28 males and 29 females. They were asked to run at a speed of 3.3 miles per hour before and after fatigue test protocols. The running speed was monitored by 2 sets of photo cell positions on each side. The main results of this was to present work that our loading rate and the impact peak were lower in ground group of females than the propulsive force was higher in a group of males in the fatigue conditions. Second study was conducted to investigate the effects of different recovery stages on fatigue markers following a prolonged running exercise. 46 recreational male runners were used in the study. Age and metabolic lactic threshold were recorded for the study. The runners participated in half a competitive marathon. Within 15 minutes after the event, the subjects undertook 4 recovery protocols. The first one was active recovery. The second one was cold water immersion. The third one was massage, and the second one was active recovery. For recreational runners, the half marathon race can result in fatigue symptoms lasting at least 24 hours, which is huge. To restore their subjective fatigue measures, cold water immersion and massage can be recommended because these recovery strategies are more effective than passive recovery and active recovery. My next study was conducted to see the fatigue effects of marathon runners on neuromuscular performance. 9 experienced endurance runners were used for the study. Force production, both in isometric and dynamic type performances, were recorded, as well as repeated stretch shortening cycle exercise induced fatigue. The results showed that an overall decrease in performance from the marathon. These reductions were accompanied by alternations in the ground reaction force curved in sprint and jump tests, suggesting a reduced tolerance in stretch load, as well as loss and recoil characteristics of the muscle. The next study was conducted to see the influence of marathon fatigue on both running kinematics and economy. 8 subjects were volunteered for this study. Speed, running velocity, energy expenditure, and marathon distances were all recorded. The results of this study failed to demonstrate that running kinematics and running economy are interrelated when fatigue progresses. It is also possible that observed kinematic changes that might reflect some adaptation to fatigue more than real failure to compensate for it. Now, to answer my question, there are many factors to determine fatigue values during a marathon. Some example might include psychological disruptions, limitation aerobic metabolism, glycogen depletion, and the amount of training an individual has been going through. And here are my references. Thank you.